Hi, welcome to the Man Cave. I'm Bob. I know that I'm a little bit behind on this, but my son and I decided, you know what, why not? We're doing an unboxing today of Against the Ogre Hoard Quest Pack. This is our first video from the Man Cave, but we're thinking about making this kind of a regular thing. Today we're going to unbox Against the Ogre Hoard, and we're going to compare it to some of the other Hero Quest stuff that's out here on the table. We have the entire updated current collection other than the Dreadveil dice. That's the one thing that's not here. So, I believe I mentioned my name is Bob. That's who I am. My son is Gabriel. He's my cameraman and editor. So if this sucks, it's his fault. Some of you may recognize some of the comment type things that I get in the tone of the video. I'm on a lot of Discords as Big Spender, or Big Spender 73, depending on who had my tag or not. But without further ado, I want to open up this box. We just finally got it from Amazon the other day. And I debated sending it back because for some reason Amazon decided to send it in a packed bag instead of a box with packing material. So the corner's a little bit messed up here. But I decided I don't want to wait for any more. It's already taken me way too long since I was one of the very first people to see when it went up on March 1st. I was like, oh my gosh, there it is. Even put it on the Discord, but I had to wait till payday. So then I had to wait for Amazon to get it here, and I don't want to have to send it back. So without further ado, we're going to open up the box here. I know most of you have already seen the Ogre Hoard. There are no secrets left, I'm sure. Most of you have already got to play some of it. But it's new to me. So our first piece is the big arena tile that everybody's been talking about and is all interested in. So the one side is the outside arena appears to be, and the other side is a darkened version with the extra tiles. We know that most of these are things that happen for the arena with the extra shields, the extra life points. Then of course we have the companion app commercial. I know lately there's been a lot of talk about whether or not the companion app is going to continue after this year. I, for one, hope it does. It's something that's really good for solo play. Then we have our second tile of room stuff. Secret doors, the pits of darkness, a couple more boulder drops. The original tiles from the old version of the game, some of the newer stuff that they've got, and the chasm. The outside tile. Something we've all been wanting more and more of. Here we have our quest book. I'm going to put this aside for now, and we'll go through a little bit of that later. The first things I wanted to do was start to look at the minis. So first we have one of our Ogre Warriors. Off to the side, we have one over here, which I believe is the one that they use for the Mercenary, but I think it's the same sculpt. So we have these two, followed by these two. As people have pointed out, they are very finely detailed. They are beautiful. Then we've got the big boy in the middle here. Oof, that is a chunky mini. Looks very good. Then we've got our champion, I believe. Yeah, our Lord. Or that's the Lord. Champion Commander. That's the one. Okay. Cards that go with this set. So the big piece that we're very excited about, the droids. This is a very different sculpt from the one in the Mythic. I do have my Mythic stuff over here that I will be comparing it to momentarily. Along with our druids, the other hero mini is our Wolf Companion. We've been expecting since Snow Dasher, so it's very nice to actually have one. One of the biggest conversations that we've seen lately is, oh, but in the shapeshift cards on the druid, it's supposed to be a bear. Well, if these guys are gnomes or halflings or whatever the race that the warlock is, these guys, I mean, conservation of mass, it's not going to turn into a bear, but a wolf might work a little bit better. That might be part of why they changed it. I don't know. One of the things I do want to mention, the last minis we got for Mythic Hero stuff, when they came out with Spirit Queen's Torment and the Prophecy of Teller here, when they made these minis, they redid the Bard and they redid the Warlock, and they did them both in this. There was this extra shiny material added to the mini plastic that makes it look a little bit orangey. They even did it for the gargoyle that they made as the demon form. And on this, it looks like we've returned to form. Much like the Wandering Monk, we're back to the solid red. That might be another reason why they switched the design from the original human that I have sitting over here. This is the Mythic Tier human druid. And then these right here are the druids for the new gnome or halfling or whatever it is. And you can see the size difference, but the red, we're back to the same red. Whereas this is the Warlock for comparison, and you can tell that she doesn't quite fit with the rest of the color scheme. Whereas her original version from the Mythic Tier does. So I thought that was one of the interesting things here, because that's a pretty big, substantial change. That also means that from our Mythic Tier, now that this set has come out and given us a druid, the only things we still are lacking commercially from the Mythic Tier are the Mentor figure, the Prisoner Ragnar figure, the Witch Lord figure, all of which I believe they did say this version of these characters were all listed as exclusive to the campaign. The other thing that we are lacking, oh, Gabriel, can you grab that? We have Venom the Dragon, which we've been told is proprietary. We have some of the tokens, we have the tile, and we have the quest of the Crypt of Perpetual Darkness. These right here are the only things that have not been released now, and it's still uncertain whether or not these things are even able to be released. Okay, back to our minis. My favorite sculpt, well, some of my favorite parts of this were things we didn't even expect. We have skeletal archers, which is just amazing. We got 3 of those in this set. We got archer orcs. Look at those beefy boys. They're tall, beautiful sculpts. We've got a boy and a girl, male and female of each sculpt again. And they're mirror images of each other, much like the elf sculpts were in the Mage in the Mirror. And then we have our little goblin archers, one with the boomerang sculpt and one with the little bomb sculpt. Both of which are just listed as archers, and they all have the same stats. So again, the sculpts though give us some really good ideas for homebrewing, which is where this game excels. So we have double doors. A nice big door for the arena that opens and closes, which is a very nice touch. When the picture first leaked from the eBay site sale, we weren't sure whether or not that they moved, but we were hoping that it did, and sure enough, we were not disappointed. The nice big ogre throne, followed by 4 of these stone-style doors, which initially in some of their leaks we were told was going to go back to the old school. We're going to put little cardboard in the plastic pieces. I'm very glad they went this way instead. It's much more visually appealing and will look really good, I think, on the maps as we're moving the doors over with our heroes who have the strength to do so. One of the things I wanted to do while we're here, I'd like to take the Ogre Lord here. And again, one of the things that they did change was the variable body points from the original set. That's gone. They all have set body points, but they're all different. So really, you almost have a sliding scale of ogre life anyway. So in a way, you could play it as if they were variable body points, especially now that we have the, spoiler alert, phased villains. But yeah, I wanted to show you the comparison here. We have the Venom sculpt from the Mythic Tier, which used to be our biggest big bad. Then we have our Ogre Lord, and we'll put them here in the center of the table so you can see these a little bit better. Our Ogre Lord, which is our new beefy sculpt. And here we have the Frozen Horror. And the Frozen Horror was, I mean, that was our big bad from the Mage in the Mirror set, and I mean, it's a gorgeous sculpt, but these guys both now pale in comparison to some of these ogres. I mean, the Frozen Horror, he has 6 body points, and the Ogre Lord here has 10. So if you thought one was hard, this is going to be a lot harder. Which again shows that if they are going to at some point in time release the mythic tier stuff for the Crypt of Perpetual Darkness, we may have to have Venom there redone, or turn him into a phasing monster where he has better stats after. Now, I suppose they could say that this is his baby form. You know, he's a light hatchling. But if they redo the quest, there's a good chance that it won't be Venom that we face anyway, because of the proprietary stuff that seems to be locking that set into oblivion. Alright, so now we're going to go look at the quest book. This is the biggest quest book that we have received so far, page number wise. I mean, we have, I believe they said 40 pages here. Yeah, page 43 is our last page. And I mean, that is a lot of material. And I love that when they did this, they gave it, first they're giving us a little bit of history among the lore for this particular clan of ogres. It's one thing I'd like to show you too. If you look over here, I have the Mage of the Mirror set where we have our original ogre that we got and we were all excited for. Their stats are also different from the ones that we have here, where we have our regular Ogre Warrior. Our Ogre Warrior stats are 6 for movement, 5 for attack, 4 for defend, 5 body points, and 1 mind point, which is similar to this ogre who was a mercenary in the Mage of the Mirror pack, but a mercenary just who worked for the bad guys. You had the movement square of 4, attack dice of 6, defend dice of 4, 5 body points, and 2 mind points. And our Ogre Mercenary is even different again. We have 8 movement, 4 attack, 4 defend, 4 body, 1 mind. So that's 3 different ogre stats for 3 different types of ogres. One of the things I wanted to check in here was I wanted to do a quick look through on the different quests to see how many ogres we may face on the board at one time. So first we get through a lot of new rules. They go over a lot of what these things are. The arena, a lot of work was put into this, and it's something that I think we've all been impressed by. The tournament rules, it just looks amazing. I'm kind of hoping, I think we all are kind of hoping, that Hasbro will release a PDF that includes some of the bad guys from the other sets. Since I know, when you buy a set, it's supposed to be this in the base set and nothing else has to build on. There's been a lot of talk on the Discord lately about an advanced new starter set and what they would have to put into it. I mean, we'd want to see the alchemy rules. We'd want to see the arena put into that, so that people could buy the base set and then whatever else comes next, not necessarily having to buy all the ones behind. So once we get to the basic, which these are the original maps from the original Against the Ogre Hoard set, and it's so amazing to actually have this in our hand, something we didn't have to spend hundreds of dollars on eBay on, or something that we didn't have to worry about converting from the only available in the European areas. It's real, it's here, it fits with the rule set we have, and it's just beautifully done. The artwork on these have been more and more amazing. I love how they have switched the color schemes on the maps now. They started that with Spirit Queen's Torment and Prophecy of Teller, where you can really see the hallways versus the rooms now. It's a much quicker reference guide to build the maps, which is a very nice touch. Let's see, in this one, I only see there's an ogre in this one. Here we have there's one ogre in there, 2 ogres in that room. So that'd be a max of 3 if we there's 3. There's 2 right here, and then of course there's another one here, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you're not killing them all, you could get a little tight. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3. One of the leaders, 4. 4 sculpts. So if you had the mercenary in this, in quest 8, if you were using the ogre mercenary and you weren't killing everything as you were trying to get out of there, you may have to borrow some of the ogres from your Mage of the Mirror set. Or proxies from somewhere else. I mean, we've all seen some beautiful minis out all over. So 1, 2, 3, 4 again. Ooh, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in this set. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 in this one. So that's pretty good. They were very careful. I'm impressed with that. Okay, let's go through these cards real quick here. We have the Ogre Warrior card, which we talked about already. And this seems to have the picture of the sculpt with the big stone club. Looks kind of like a hockey stick. We have the Ogre Mercenary, which is the other sculpt here with the set. With a basic, it looks like almost like a femur that he's got that he's using on you. Then we have the Ogre Lord, who we showed off earlier. 4, 6, 6, 10, and 5 for a double-basted piece. That is some remarkably good stats. One thing that many people have talked about going through the book is there's no mention of not being able to go around the ogres, which is something that used to be in the old set, but not this one. So that's kind of an interesting takeaway. We'll put the wolf over here with the other heroes. The Ogre Commander. This is a beautiful sculpt. I mean, these poses are very action-oriented. They look like they're angry. They look like they're active. They look like they're going to give our heroes a hard time. Our Ogre Champion. The level of detail in these minis has only gotten better and better with each set. Our Orc Archer. We have 1 card for the 2 sculpts. And the nice thing, one of the things that the rulebook has changed, it tells us right in there, these archer enemies can be put in place where there is any enemy of that type can be replaced with an archer type. And it doesn't say for this quest book. Something very important, because I know my family has only gotten through the base game, and we're about to start the Keller's Keep and Return of the Witch Lord soon. And when we do, anytime we see orcs or basic skeletons or goblins, now we've got the archer ones, and those are part of the sandbox now, so there's a good chance that the quest might be a little bit harder. It'll make the standing in front of a door not quite as alluring. So that's a good thing. Variety is definitely the spice of adventure. We have the Goblin Archer. It's a gorgeous sculpt. The card picture is beautiful. We have the Skeleton Archer, and somebody has pointed out that this one does not match, this picture on the card does not actually match the mini exactly. This one seems to be wearing a pirate scarf on his head, and this almost has like the armor coif on it, over the chainmail over his head. So that's kind of an interesting thing that I might not have noticed right away. And then, of course, we have the dread spells for this set. We've got the 5 Mind Lock. And there's quite a bit of debate on whether or not that was a waste of cards or whether it's a useful way to integrate the tokens from before. And we then have the 5 Mind Burst. I never played the original set, so it's hard for me to say whether or not that this is a good integration of the cards for the tokens. But I know that when it's something that's a countdown, I appreciate having this. I think that will make things a little bit easier in the game for younger players, and my 2 younger children are 7 and 8, so that'll be very easy for them. Then we have the redone druid spells, and by redone I mean these are the older ones where it had her on the back of the card, much like it does for the Bard and the Warlock, which have been redone, and the backs of the cards were the same. But here, this is not our little halfling or gnome druid standing here. It is the animal form. And then there's the little pixie, and there's so it's the 3 pictures from here. You've got Life Force, Pixie, and Shapeshift, and here you have a shapeshifted druid, although in the shape of a wolf instead of the bear. You have the pixie and you have the Life Force stag. So I find this art is very, very, I've definitely approved the change, because the original druid, there's nothing really wrong with her, but thematic wise, these look much, much better. And the idea of changing into the wolf is just a beautiful picture. Nowhere in the rules does it say that this wolf is the shapeshift form of your druid, but it's here, the picture's here, and it copies the format that the gargoyle made us think about for the warlock, so there's no reason to believe that it couldn't be that. I also understand that it's the wolf stand-in in case you only have 3 characters, and that might be an interesting thing to do within the arena itself. But on the whole, they have knocked this set out of the park. This is an incredibly well done set. It's a large amount of plastic, great amount of cards. The biggest complaint that most people have is there were no artifacts done for this, no separate special equipment, which, might have been nice, but almost unnecessary. And we wanted to stay within the price point that was here. So I think that they did a really good job. And anything else that we need, we can always homebrew. One thing that I was hoping for, that a lot of people were hoping for, was for them to put out a PDF like intro adventure for this, much like the Into the Northlands was set up for the Frozen Horror, and there's been little tiny intro quests that kind of connect the story. That would have been nice, and it could still happen. I mean, we don't know. But that's it for this this unboxing. The next set that we're thinking is coming could be, I mean, we've heard about the Jungles of Deathrack, and now we don't know what's going on with Mage of the Mirror, or not Mage of the Mirror, Wizards of Morcar or Zargon could still be coming. People have talked about the potential of the Dwarf Pack, the potential of the Wizard Pack. There's a lot of homebrewed stuff out there, and there's plenty of them. There's plenty of stuff for them to do. And I mean, looking at the things that they've put out, the Knight, the Rogue, the Monk, the Rise of the Dread Moon, the entire set was all original material. Now we've got the Warlock, the Bard, and the Druid all out here in retail, and we have 2 of those 3 quests. So they've proven themselves capable of adding to the lore, mysticism, and fun of one of our favorite games. So that's me. I'm going to be signing off for the evening. If you want to comment, I don't even know if subscribing is possible. Like I said, this is my first time doing this. We're pretty green here, but this is one of the things that we'll be exploring here in the Man Cave. It'll be this, it'll be, sometimes it'll be a movie thing, sometimes it'll be a different game. Just stuff from the minds of the men here in the cave. Have a good evening.